صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان رب المشرقين ورب المغربين فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان صدق الله العظيم. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us tawfiq to be here today. So today we're starting from ayah 7 of Surah Ar-Rahman. So ayah 7, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it reads, وَالسَّمَاءَ رَفَعَهَا. He raised the sky high and has placed the scales. وَالسَّمَاءَ رَفَعَهَا وَوَضَعَ الْمِيزَانَ, and he placed the scales. أَلَّا تَطْغَوْا فِي الْمِيزَانِ. The next ayah, so that you should not be wrongful in the weighing. The ulama say about this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Sama, the heavens, and then later on he mentions the earth, and in the middle he puts everything about scales and about being just. So what's the correlation? Usually it says Sama and Ard right next to each other, but he put the weight. So it shows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the heavens and the earth for justice, meaning that what's making sure that the earth is still and the heavens are still above, and then all the system is placed justice between that. This place is just for justice. Everything else is doing justice, and man is challenged to do what? To have justice. Are we humans and jinns, especially in Surah Ar-Rahman, the whole address is humans and jinns. The challenge is to be just, to do the justice in the world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. So that's the correlation. So amazingly it says heavens, and then talks about justice, and then it goes to the earth. So we learned from this, from the idea, I'm going to elaborate on this, about justice and about scales and about weighing, and all the blessings that we see in the world, they're not for self-use. Understand? Like whatever Allah has granted you, not for self-use, for every person to use for themselves. Rather, it's to fulfill the hukuk. And the hukuk doesn't only mean other people, it also means yourself. Your own body has haqq, yes or no? Your own body has haqq. People around you, understand, your family has hukuk, then the community has hukuk. So everything that you have, the resource that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you on His earth, on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's earth, is fulfill the duties. That's it. So this is everyone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أَعْطَى كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلْقَهُ ثُمَّ هَدَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave everything, the creation, that He guided it along the path. So everything else is guided along the path, all the rest of the creation. Just like we read at the beginning of Surah Ar-Rahman, وَالنَّجْمُ وَالشَّجَرُ يَسْجُدَانِ. That everything is making sajda to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the creation is in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Man, well, we have a choice to be in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And the whole world is all about us, right? It's all created. We are the center of attention. I said, will we fulfill the trust, or will we fulfill the trust, or will we not? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. So this whole, universe is based on, these principles. Also, when people say piety, people have their own definitions of piety. When you meet people on the street, what's the definition of piety? They say different things, understand? But actually, the real definition of piety is a person who fulfills the amanat, who fulfills all the hukuk. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, "Inna aradna al-amanata ala as-samawati wal ard." That this life journey that we're going through, this was presented to the heavens and the earth, that you take it on. فَأَبَيْنَ أَن يَحْمِلْنَا, but they refused to take it on. وَأَشْفَقْنَا مِنْهَا, they were fearful of it. We're going to take on the life of test? No. Heavens and the earth rejected. وَحَمَلَهَا الْإِنسَان, but the human being, he took it upon himself. إِنَّهُ كَانَ ظَلُومًا جَهُولًا, he's very zalum and jahul. Man is very unjust and very ignorant. But actually, some scholars have looked at that last ayah of the Quran where it says human being is very zalim and jahil. It says actually that's actually a praise of us, that we are actually unjust and jahil, but we have the potential to learn and then finally be just and act according to the ilm. So innahu kana zaluman jahila is like an indirect praise as well. It's not just trying to say the human being is all zalum and jahul. It's indirect praise of us as well. That we have that great potential. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to live up to the potential, inshallah. The potential. We find Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in his life, imagine how much justice he had, right? From his sunnah we learn justice. Sometime when he would be with his wives, he would just be with them, and then all of a sudden when it's salat time, he would leave them, as Aisha radiallahu anha narrates, as though he doesn't even know us. All of a sudden he was one person, but then the way he went to the masjid is as though he doesn't know us. Right? So fulfilling all the hukuk, fulfilling the human being's hukuk and also fulfilling the hukuk Allah. This is the purpose of man. Also, in Islamic spirituality, I know where we say tasawwuf, tazkiyah, the summary of it is also justice. When you be with mashayikh or ulama, mashayikh, what you find in their life is what? Justice. All they're doing is what? Justice. Now sometimes when there's people who don't know piety and all, what they do when they sit in the company of mashayikh, they get sometimes confused. They go, okay, he's our sheikh, she's the sheikh, but I don't see what's so special. He's doing everything that we do, but they don't see what he's actually doing. He's actually just giving justice to everything that he is. He doesn't have to do anything supernatural or something or superficial. He doesn't need to. All the sheikh is doing what? What makes him a sheikh is what? He's just doing justice to things, and that's what he's good at. And if you were to be in the man's company, you would also learn how to be just in everything. And that's Islamic spirituality. That's ihsan. So sometimes people who don't understand, they take it wrong. They say, all he's doing is praying salah, all he's doing is doing this work, this, I do that anyway. What's the difference? Well, the difference is maybe he's doing justice to everything in a way. But and if you stayed in his company, we would learn. So please remember that is the definition of piety. People have their own definitions, but this would be an accurate definition of piety, is a person who gives everything its due right. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. Because what happens to people, when you tell people about justice, then people get offended. People say different. Like for example, if you see somebody who's, into his business a lot, and then he's like slacking maybe at the masjid. If you remind that person, hey, maybe come to the masjid, bring your family along, come to the masjid. He goes, oh yeah, main to phir masjid baitha raha. So they make like they try and tell us, like they're trying to say that, okay, do you want me to just sit at the masjid? But that's not what we meant. We never wanted you to just come sit at the masjid. We were just saying you should start coming to the masjid. We didn't suggest that you just sit at the masjid. He's taking it wrong. He's trying to say that, okay, you guys are sitting at the masjid, I'll just sit at my shop. It doesn't work like that. It's justice in everything. Understand? Who's going to have that balance? Understand? With deen and dunya and the material. We cannot. We don't have an option to just live a way out of civilization. This is the justice that when we, that's the third dimension of Islam. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq, that understand. That's where we know we get confused. Shaitan tricks us. May Allah protect us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah tatghaw fil mizan, so that you should not be wrongful in weighing. Wa aqimul wazna bil qist, and observe the correct weight with fairness, and do not make weighing deficient. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about weighing in other surahs. There's a whole surah Mutaffifin, those who cheat in weighing. And that could be, you could take a very broad meaning. You could take a very specific meaning out of it, but you could also take a very general meaning out of it. Specific cheating, meaning, weighing less in scales when you're doing business, but it could also be just everything. The whole world, the whole life is a trust and amana. So this amana concept and weighing is very broad in Islam. وَالْأَرْضَ وَضَعَهَا, as for the earth. So after mentioning the weighing and the justice that needs to be, that the heavens is resting upon, then it mentions the earth. And as for the earth, he has placed it for creatures. وَالْأَرْضَ وَضَعَهَا لِلْأَنَامِ, meaning he has made it suitable for the creatures. Look how Allah Subhanahu has made the earth suitable for the creatures. All the rizq is there. Everything is there. Everyone is being taken care of. We're seeing this magnificent display of a creator and his creation. وَفِيهَا فَاكِهَةٌ, in which there are fruits and date palms having covers. Fruits and date palms having dhatul akmam, having covers. In the world, we just needed to have food. We didn't really need to have too many pomegranates, oranges, mangoes. We didn't need to have all these, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has had rahmah. He's allowed us so much, more than we really just needed to survive and to go through the test of the world. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us of his ni'mats. And then when he mentions these ni'mats, the fruits and the date palms, he mentions zatul akmam. Akmam is the plural of kim. And kim means covering, what packaging it has. So it's saying that look at your date palm and look at the fruits and look at its covering, the packaging. And if you just look at that in itself is a whole subject of its own. Look at the fruits packaging. Understand? It protects it from spoiling generally. It has just the way it's packed. It could have been placed in any other shape. Meaning he's honored us that you are here. Understand? You're going through this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to reflect. I imagine how much time we need to reflect upon this. Each fruit and each packaging and each covering and how it's been placed. Then the next one, wal habbu, and look at your grains, how dul asf, look how they have been packed. Wal rayhan, and the flower which emits odor. So even the grain, it has a packaging. And sometimes some of these packagings, even what it's been covered with, is also usable. Or in Urdu we say bhusa. So with the bhusa is also usable. The seed is also usable. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, look how he has honored us into feeding us in this kind of a way. He's created and the animal kind as well. But look how they eat. And look at how we eat. And look how what he's given them, look what he's given us. These are all signs of the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and also the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Both. In this whole surah, when we're seeing that verse repeat, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ, is reflecting on two things, the blessing and the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So man is to reflect that who does all this. This is nothing but the qudra of Allah. So this is nothing but the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you thought deeply about it, it just reflects nothing but the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The packaging, each fruit, and how he gives it. Even our snowflake doesn't have a design on it. How does the rain come down in one drop? Why does it have to be one drop? One drop. Then look how these changes in the weather, how they make us feel. We feel so delighted. If it was just one, it would become two in vain. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has honored us to keep us in this way. And he promises us much more. He's given us everything, and he promises us much more beyond. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to understand and be grateful for this opportunity. Then it says, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا, so which of the favors of your Lord will you two deny? Then you two, man and jinn. So humankind and jinn kind, which of the ala could have been ni'mat, also the power. Which of the blessings of Allah do you want mankind and jinn kind wish to deny, or which of the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do you wish to deny? Then خلق الإنسان من صلصال. We created, so O mankind, no. He has created man from dry clay. خلق الإنسان من صلصال, ringing like pottery. So in this surah, it talks about salsal, kal-fakhar. So it's talking about the anatomy of the man. What is it like? Reflect upon what you've been created from. Primarily, man is created from water and dirt, besides other elements. But a big amount is the dirt and water. When speaking about dirt, Allah SWT uses different words. Teen, like over here, the word is used as salsal. There's other words elsewhere, and it kind of gives detail of what kind of, in Urdu we say kichar. How do we say kichar in English? Clay. That's like wet dirt. Okay. So different processes are mentioned of what type of dirt was utilized in man. If the dirt and the water was all to be absorbed out of us, man fits on a palm. We fit on the size of a palm, the rest of our organs. If just the water was all drained from us, which means all the liquid is drained from, and the dirt is all drained, you'd fit on a palm. So this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us that we create the human being from salsal. Turab, Allah subhanahu mentioned one place turab, then it mentions teen, then masnoon, hama'im masnoon, then salsal. The process is that it is turab turns into teen, that goes through hama'im masnoon, and over here it's mentioning salsal. We're not getting into the detail of that, but it's like in a dirt being in a particular way. Allah SWT even described what particular way the dirt was. وَخَلَقَ الْجَانَّ, and we created Jan, the father of jinn, from a smokeless flame of fire. Create the jinn kind, they're invisible to us. Just like the chemicals are invisible to us, the jinn kind is invisible to us. So it mentions this. And then it says, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ, which of the ni'mat, blessings, and the favors of your Lord will you to deny? رَبُّ الْمَشْرِقَيْنِ وَرَبُّ الْمَغْرِبَيْنِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Lord of the two easts and the two wests. And it says in the footnotes here, 2 points of sunrise and sunset refer to different points of sunrise and sunset in summer and winter. There's different explanations they've given. They said that the sunrise and sunset is different in the winter and summer. That's what they're saying, 2 east and 2 wests. Some have explained it like this too, that if you look at east and the west, it's really just east and the west. And then you'll have northeast and southeast, so you got 2 easts, southeast and northeast. So there's multiple ways of explaining the 2 easts and 2 wests, the reference that's made. Then it mentioned, and the last verse for today, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ, which of the ni'mats, the gifts, and the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will you deny? So this was a surah. Just one more mention is that, when these questions come, we mentioned this last week, when you have these verses that are like question, you should respond to them. Which are the favors of your delight will you deny? So we say, we don't deny any. Inshallah, we don't deny any. Just like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when you say, Alaysa Allah bi ahkamil hakimin, isn't Allah the best of judges? And you would respond, wa nahnu ala dhalika min ash-shahidin, we're a witness of it. Right? So we can give responses to these. So these are the verses. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a good amal. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah azim. Jazakumullah khair for everyone for logging in.